I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You know what time it is. It's Netflix time. Probably one of the most gangsterous movies in the history of Netflix, going in style. Y'all know I'm being sarcastic, but anyway, spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we start off with my man's, the original Alfred in the Batman movies. He's going to the bank to straighten out some things. He talks to this asshole that runs the bank that's connected to his old job at the steel mill. And bottom line, he's there because he got a notice because they tripled his mortgage payments. And it's like some bullshit. They had disrespected the old people, it ain't right. Then out of the blue, a robbery takes place. He tells him he can have his mortgage payment. And when he gives it to him, he sees the tattoo on his neck. He's like, no, man, we got respect. We don't take from the elderly. But we'll take money for your candy ass. And for some strange reason, that gives him an idea. So everybody talks to the officer after the robbery. He tells him about the tattoo on the neck like they're really going to be able to ID that shit. Then he tells him he watched this TV show called Law and Order. He's like, you know they solve crimes faster than you guys. So he tries to give him his phone number and address. He's like, don't worry about it. When we want you, we'll find you. So he gets in the car and explains to his granddaughter what happened. And they're very close to each other. And mom's like, all right, stop explaining this shit to my daughter. Later on, he meets up with the boys. Willie, you already know what it is, Morgan Freeman, and Albert. He was in that movie Grudge Match. He was in that movie with Robert De Niro and Sylvester Stallone and Kevin Hart. Anyway. And we got Milton, played by Christopher Lloyd. And of course, his acting is always on par. I think he's got like a mild case of dementia in the movie, but he's fucking hilarious. And Willie and Joe recently got these pension letters, or what's supposed to be their pensions. And then all the people that used to work there still work there. They had this meeting. And this fucker can't give them their pensions at this time because of something's going on with the steel mill. Apparently, they owe money. And some of these people done worked there for like 30, 40 years. And at this stage of the game, they're too old to be working anymore. They need to give them their respect and give them their fucking money. Then they go back to their little coffee spot and drown their sorrows in pie. Then they go home and watch episodes of The Bachelor. They all try to decide who's going to get picked. Like I said, this is fucking hilarious. Afterwards, Joe goes home, and Albert and Willie pretty much live together. But when Joe goes back to the box, he gets a red notice in the mail, stating that he's got 30 days to pay up, or he's going to have to cough up his home. Next day, Willie goes to the doctor, and he's basically being told he needs another kidney. Soon. Basically, he's going to die if he doesn't get it real soon. So when he gets home, he learns how to use his Skype and gets to talk to his granddaughter and his daughter. Basically putting on a brave face, letting them know he's doing alright, but we all know he's not. Meanwhile, Albert's teaching kids how to play the saxophone, and there's no getting around it, he is terrible at it. He encourages them to take up dancing or something like that instead. Turns out this lady named Annie watches after him, and honestly, she's got a crush on Albert. And her game is strong. She definitely wants a piece of that Albert. But Albert's not ready for all that. Matter of fact, he's not even sure if he still can. Joe picks up his granddaughter from school, and she's been getting straight A's, and she reminds him that, hey, you said if I get all straight A's, I can get a puppy. So he's gonna do what he can to stick to that promise. Then they go to the spot that chill at the old folks' home, eating and playing bingo and shit, complaining about the food. They didn't know if it was corn. He told us a World War II shit. So Joe talks about this plan about actually robbing a bank. Then he tells him his house is gonna be up for sale in 30 days if he doesn't pay up. At first they thought he was bullshitting. They're like, we old as hell. How the hell we gonna get away with this? Then they ask hypothetically, where we robbed? He's talking about the bank, like the actual bank that owns our company. Then we found out why everybody was gathered. Turns out it's actually Willie's birthday. Later that night, he calls up Joe and tells him his wish was to be happy. He says, if you're really serious about this robbing bank shit, I'm in. The only person they need now is Albert to be in, which he's definitely not. So they're going to do a practice run at the Value Town grocery store. So Albert thinks they're just doing a regular grocery run, trying to get some cordon bleu. So they go in and tell Albert to wait in the car. These niggas go in and start stuffing groceries down their pants and shit. I'm like, pfft. Willie wants to get the whole cordon bleu and stuff it in his pants. I'm like, So Albert ain't wasting no time. He's like, man, fuck this shit, I'm going in. And he finds out Annie actually works in the same grocery store. The old man stealing this shit. Then he accidentally knocks over a whole thing of Spam. Meanwhile, while Albert's talking to Annie getting a Mac on, they come back out to the car, but they don't see Albert. They're like, where the hell is he at? Got eggs and shit stuffed in his shirt. Joe comes out, sees a basket, and he goes and steals it. And this lady turns around and says,
where the fuck is my basket?
And then the security guard chasing after them. He's like, come on, Willie, get your ass in the basket. Willie's like, fuck that shit, I ain't getting in there. They see the security guard coming, he hops at the basket. Albert comes out like, man, where these niggas go? Another security guard comes out like, freeze, I'll chase your ass. Then he starts running like, what are you chasing me for? I ain't do nothing. He gets halfway through the parking lot and gives up. He tosses the Portland at her, they throw about the trail. He's like, man, give me the flower. Throws the flower at her. He's like, yeah, we getting away, we got this shit. Then they almost run into a bus trying to get past a red light, and then they get caught. Apparently, Keenan's the manager of this whole grocery store. They all got caught.
Make a cordon bleu with chicken thighs? That's a crime in and of itself. And why were you running? You didn't steal anything?
Because your stormtrooper here was chasing me.
No, they were chasing your friends.
He was chasing me. When somebody chases me, I run. That's the way it works.
Look,
He basically gives us some coupons. He's like, all right, like, man, get the hell out of my store. He's like, man, just come back tomorrow. I ain't got time for this shit. Albert's mad at the boys because they didn't tell him what was supposed to be going down. Albert dips out and is like, man, find your own way home, damn it. So apparently if they go get this robbery done, they need some help. So they go to this guy who apparently sells all different types of weed. So they talk to this guy named Frank, who happens to be the father of his granddaughter. One reason we got through because Joe threatened to put him on child support, which was bullshit, but anyway. He wants Frank to connect him with a guy to the underworld or whatever like that, but he's not telling him what the plan is. So Keenan's looking through all the screens, he finds out that Albert's back in the store, but he knows he's actually buying stuff. And here comes Annie. Bottom line, she says she's gonna cook for him, she's gonna get to him one way or another. And that's right, you didn't think it was gonna happen because they too old, they too tired, whatever like that, but bottom line is they not too old and tired because she ended up giving her the business, and he comes to the spot feeling like a new man. So now they get some more mail in the papers, and they find out they're not getting their pensions at all. In fact, the company's using their pensions to pay off their own debts that they fucked up and making repairs to it to make it look more stable. So basically, the company's dicking them over on their pensions, and Albert's finally in on this robbing bank business. Because it's literally been their banks that's been robbing them out of the system. So now they hook up with that guy that Joe requested to get this stuff done, Emilio. Emilio's like, why the hell should I be doing this and I can do this for free by myself? So Joe gives his heartfelt speech about him not taking no risks, his house about to be foreclosure, fuck the banks and everything they stand for, and they're stealing their pensions. So they smoke some weed, get it cracking, and Willie gets it cracking with the kush. In his daytime job, he owns a pet store. Look at the doggy, oh, so cute. I was like, look man, you ain't getting me to smoke, I gotta drive. And considering my age, I need all my faculties about me. They riding around high shit. Then they all get together and get some food. Now as they sorting out their plans, Willie has not told them anything about them needing a kidney. And then for the next 20 days, they sorting out the plans. Then they get together, chill, watch a movie. I swear I thought it was Taxi Driver at first, but now I'm not so sure. Get themselves chill, get themselves ready for the heist. Next day, fixing breakfast. Turns out Frank and Joe are eating breakfast. But he's really making it for his daughter who he hasn't seen in a while. Not sure how long. Yeah, so mom's saying that. I'm pretty sure it's been a while. So he's about to drop her off at school again. But he keeps sending these subliminals like it's going to be the last time he sees her. You know what I'm saying? She's not really picking up on it, but she can tell he's acting funny. And after he drops her off, he's like, look, Frank, you got to be a man. Take care of your daughter. He's like, definitely, I got it. But look, Joe, whatever it is you're planning, let me know so I can help you out, man. He said, man, don't worry about all this. I got this. You just take care of your daughter. So then the boys, Willie, Albert, and Joe, go to this little carnival setup. They helping out being with the kids and all that. But really, it's just an alibi for their story. And they got the guns, but of course, they got blanks in them because he said, look, nobody needs to get hurt by accident. You know what I'm saying? And they already decided if they get caught, we just lay down. That's it. It's a wrap. And now they're robbing the bank. But then Willie ends up going over to this little girl asking questions because she was like, hey, you want my doll? He's like, no, you keep that. Then the little girl's making sure Willie's all right because Willie collapsed for a little bit. She says he's going to need help. Then she almost tried to remove his mask because she thought he couldn't breathe under it. But then as he's reaching out to get the fake gun, she notices his wristwatch, which has his daughter on it. She's the only one that saw it. Meanwhile, while everybody's being distracted, this random guy is going to slide over for the gun. Apparently, while everybody was distracted, somebody tripped a silent alarm, the boys is coming. Then it's this guy again, he ended up getting a gun. He's tired of people stealing from him and all this other crap, but it's like, it's irony. He attempted to shoot our trio, but missed every shot. Albert was banging off on him, he's like, oh my god, I'm dead. But bottom line is, we all know Albert had blanks in his gun, as he let him know right then and there. Then they dip out in their getaway elderly bus. The boys are there, but it's too late. They got the bags, they got the cash. Albert gets on the bus. A while later, he goes to play the saxophone, and he's bossing on it. Pure beast. They celebrate with gourmet meals, but while they're walking, Willie ends up having a panic attack. At first they thought it was because of the drinks. They're like, no, it's not the drinks. Back at the bank, they go through the cameras. They thought they had an ID on their face, but they don't. Meanwhile, at the hospital, the boys find out that Willie needs a kidney. Albert's pissed off like, damn it, why you ain't just tell us? Joe's more relaxed about it, though. Apparently, when they found out the suspect looked kind of old, Value Town made a call real quick and basically gave him a copy of the footage. But not before getting some reward money. You know, he ain't doing this shit for nothing. They'll be snitching for nothing. He says he need the money because his grandma got locked up last week. I'm like, what the fuck? So while Albert was giving Annie more business, he looks outside, and the boys roll up deep and all that shit. And so while Willie's laying in the hospital, talking to his family, FBI, the boys roll up on him too. And while they're enjoying their granddaughter's baseball game, you already knew, the boys was coming there too. They got picked up, tucking out the precinct, the real OGs. And they had this alibi that was fucking glorious. It's too great for me to explain. I'm sorry, you're going to have to watch that part for yourselves. But there's one detail they didn't overlook. So the police take them all to this gym and line them up. All these different suspects in wheelchairs. And they brought in a little girl to try to identify one of them. Then she looked at Willie, looked at the watch on the arm, and she carried it like a straight OG. She said she ain't see nobody. She ain't letting none of our squad go down. She ain't snitching. Pimp shit. Then as she's walking back, right? She sees a granddaughter. She gives that look like, yeah, I got you. Don't even worry about that shit. So they off the hook. They go back to the diner. He meets up with my man's Manolo. He got himself the puppy. Then he's gonna give it to his granddaughter. Then he says a familiar phrase that he heard before. And this is when we realize he was the leader of the bank robbery at the beginning of the movie. And he asks him, where's the tattoo at? He told him the tattoo wasn't even real. It was a paste on. So I'm questioning the fact if he just met him or he already knew him right from the get-go to pull this shit off. Then the cop comes in to have coffee and shit. He tries to pet the dog, but the dog bites him. He don't like no cops. If you look over top of the kennel, you see there's a big stack of cheese, all that money, all the cash. And that cop never saw it. But after they all leave, he leaves a tip for his homegirl. She's like, oh man, change again. But then she looks under the slip like, oh shit. So yeah, you could just stack boo. You've been treating us good for years. Yeah, you deserve it. At the nursing home, they getting gifts, couple of cherry pies and whatnot. But as they lift up the cherry pies and put it on the table, a ridiculous stack of cash for everybody. That face from Christopher Lloyd, priceless. But the message that says, everyone deserves a piece of the pie. We get it. And now Willie's finally about to get his kidney, but who's giving it to him? Of all people, none of it is his best friend, Albert. And that's why he was so pissed off he didn't tell him, because he's thinking to himself, damn it, you could have had my kidney, nigga. So obviously Joe was able to save his home. Everybody's dressed up in black suits talking about Albert. So wait a minute, Albert didn't survive the surgery? What the fuck? Nah, just fucking with you. Actually, Albert and Annie ended up getting married. Everybody jamming, even the kid really just started dancing. He gave it the saxophone, and for good reason. And they got their families right, everything all good gravy. And Albert's finally happy. It's a new feeling for him. And give a toast to probably one of the greatest capers of all time. And why is that? Because nobody expected anybody in their 80s to pull off some shit like this. And that's why it'll be one of the greatest movies of all time. Going in style on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Click these out the easy bits. Big, could you get that slogan?